to be completely honest with you, I did not want to record at all today. No. I was in the shower because I just came back from my workout and I was thinking, like, I'm too tired for this, dog. I didn't sleep enough and, I should take it easy. And I'm gonna look weird, dumb, walking outside with my camera, just looking like a dumbass, talking to myself. So I was just like, you know what, dude, I don't know if I want to do this today. And it's cold, it's raining. But then I realized I was just kind of feeling sorry for myself. And I wasn't doing the hard thing that I told myself I would do. And be honest, don't lie to yourself, okay? Don't pull no BS or anything like that. You've been in multiple situations where you've also felt the same way and then persisted to not do the thing that you know you needed to do in order to be better. Man, it is a little chilly out here. But as I was saying, you've done the same and it doesn't feel good, postponing it. And I know this is going to sound really, really cliche and really, really, motivational speaker type bullshit. But listen, excuses are always going to sound best to the people who make them. Like, I used to be the kind of person who would hear everybody, hear them out and be like, yeah, you're doing all this, it's okay, dude. And not knowing that, sure, you want to be there for someone, but you also want to, if you really truly want to help them out and, you call yourself a friend to this person or whatever, you got to tell them to shut up and do it, dog. Like, shut the hell up and do it. I don't care what you're feeling, because what ends up happening is thoughts slowly creep into your mind and they'll tell you not to do it, and they'll give you a specific reason. And slowly, as the time is ticking closer and closer and closer into doing that thing, you come up with more reasons that are even more nonchalant and more bullshit than ever. Like, they don't even come close or make any sense as to why, you wouldn't do the thing that you're talking about. Like, for example, if I say, right after work, I usually go to the gym, and I do every day, Monday through Friday, and I tell myself, okay, let's say I tell myself, I'm tired. Okay, that could be somewhat valid. That could be somewhat, like, that's somewhere in the ballpark. I'm not saying that's a good excuse. I'm saying that's in the ballpark, right? But then I'll come up with stuff like, oh yeah, and I gotta drink my protein shake tonight, and it's gonna how is that even related, dog? Like, just do the shit. Do what you need to do. But again, if everybody was doing it, if everybody, if it was that easy, everybody would be, Jesus Christ, everybody would be doing it. And so you need to develop certain mechanisms that take time to develop. And I'm starting to see them in myself that allow you to do the hard work when you don't feel like doing it. Because I get it. I've been in that position too. Just like you watching this video, I've been in that position trying to do the work, and I just cannot get myself to do it. And for some of us, it's different stuff. For example, like for me, the gym has always been insanely just, if I'm being completely honest, people are like, holy crap, you're disciplined. But for me, it's been easy, to be completely honest. And I don't know where that came from, but some things you won't be very good at. Like, for example, sitting down and doing your college work, or sitting down and writing some sort of report for work, or, something along those lines. some things won't be as easy. And losing my train of thought. See, that's also one of the reasons I told myself I'd be like, I wouldn't be able to focus that much. But I was like, dude, I gotta do it anyway. Because it's this very resistance, this very thing that I'm gonna keep doing, this very action that I have to keep doing, that'll allow me to get better at it, even if I keep losing track of my thoughts. And so, like I said, there will be certain things that you're bad at doing that others are good at doing. And the way I kind of approached this problem, so for me specifically, it was me doing my deep work or me doing these videos or things like that. The way I specifically approached it is I try to think about the whys and the hows, and sometimes the wheres and the whens if they're relevant. And I asked myself the question, like, why is the gym so easy for me to go to? Like, why do I not struggle going to the gym whatsoever while other people do? Because I simply didn't understand that. Maybe I did a long time ago, but now it's just completely different. And it's because I realized that at one point I was so fed up with everything that all I could do was get myself to hit the gym, and I was like, I just want to be better. Like there's no other way. I just need to do this, and that's it. And so I'd kind of lost that thought process. And to just kind of summarize the thought process, it's a thought process of just complete and utter action. It's like either you do or you don't, and you have to put yourself through it. You just have to sit there and do it. Like at this very moment, at the beginning of the recording, I did not want to press record and start. I'm telling you right now, I did not want to do it whatsoever. I'm still kind of cold walking through this, it's raining out here too. It was raining out here, and so it's even colder, and I'm just like, dude, I don't want to do this, but I'm out here. And the one thing I realized is, I'm going to sound a bit insane for saying this, but you kind of have to have a certain level of, how do I word this? Let me think about this properly. The resistance that you're feeling, the fear, you have to prep your mind enough to where your fear fears you. Like, I know how corny how ridiculous that sounds, but you have to be like, I'm going to do this shit, and I'm going to sit there and actually just take action. You have to actively be aware of what's going on in your mind when you're telling yourself you're not going to do that thing. And usually what ends up happening before we even do the thing is we're exhausted even before we're thinking about doing the thing. So for example, like I said at the beginning of this video, I was in the shower thinking about how I didn't want to do this. So I was already thinking about why I didn't want to do it before I was even out here doing it. And I realized that when it comes to going to the gym, that is not the case at all. I don't do that whatsoever. I don't think about like, when I'm at work, I don't think about how I'm gonna have to go to the gym or hit a leg day, even if it's like a day that I don't particularly like love, or how I'm gonna have to hit a certain day or whatever, or how I'm gonna have to just do general exercises. Sometimes I do, but that's what I realized. I was like, okay, like, why am I not thinking about this before work? Like, how is this something that I just do? And I think literally the simple answer to that is, like I said before, you just have to sit there and be mindful of the kind of resistance that you're feeling in your mind as to why you're feeling it, and just sit there with it. You just have to sit there with it and be like, all right, I'm going to beat this. That's how it's going to be. You have to actually just immerse and embrace the fear and the pain of doing that thing. Like, there's no other way around it. I know you probably think that this is like some, like, you know, this sounds exactly like some motivational video bullshit. Like, what are you telling me, dude? You're not really helping me at all here. But what I'm saying is, our minds will try to lie to us in several ways into not doing the thing that we need to do. And it'll even lie to us to the point where we think there's an easier way to do certain things, and it'll try to find that way. It'll hold on to that last bit of hope, hoping it could find the easiest way to just, you know, crack the code and, for example, get rich, or crack the code and just like hit a certain kind of workout and then get jacked. Like, do all these things. Find the simplest way. There isn't. That shit does not exist. You have to put yourself through it. You have to just sit down and be like, all right, shit, I'm about to do this. Like, I don't like sometimes sitting down and journaling for some of my podcasts, hence why I was on that hiatus thing, which I don't want to get into right now because that's not the point of this video. But I sit there and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? Like, I can't get myself to do it. I just can't. And at one point, I just came to a realization, like, it's either you do or you don't. And you have to walk around thinking that you almost delude yourself in some way into thinking that this thing that is so hard for you to do, it's just not. It's just not. Like, I'm going to do it. It's not hard for me. There's no amount of resistance there. There's nothing. And that kind of helps with it. But you do literally just have to sit there and be like, all right, I feel this. And an insane part of you in your mind has to go, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to. It's not going to stop me. Which is what I was talking about. Like, you have to make that, the fear of doing that thing, fear you instead. Now, I'll talk about a few other things that might make it easier to do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. So, one is, why do you need to do the thing? Why do you need to do the hard work? Whether it's going to the gym, whether it's, like I said, writing this report, or doing some homework, whatever, you know, why do you need to do it to begin with? Jesus, my hair is like flying all over my face right now. Why do you need to do it? And the general answer lies something along the lines of, it depends on your future, right? Your entire future is depending on it. So, for example, like, if you want the kind of physique you do, then you have to do the hard work. You know, you're gonna have that physique in the future. You have to do the hard work for it. If you want the kind of job you do, then, you know, you got to go through college and do the kind of do that homework assignment, do what you need to do. So something along those lines. And you have to be willing to write that down, because if you lose your why, it makes it a lot harder to do the hard work. And yeah, simply put, it'll just make it a lot harder to do the thing you're trying to do, because if you don't have a reason for doing it, then it's like, why are you doing it to begin with? You know what I mean? So you have the why. You also Here, let me sit here instead. It'll just be easier. That way I'm not walking and thinking at the same time. I could just think. One other thing that really, really helps is, which is the how, basically. So now we're getting into the how. How do you go about doing this? So you have your why. You have your why. right? So you know your why. It's like, okay, it's something along the lines of it my future's depending on it. But you want to be more specific than that. I didn't give you that why. Write something down. Like, actually, like, write something down. Like, this depends on me becoming, like, I don't know, a doctor or something, or me getting my dream job, or me becoming successful, or something as specific as you can get. Write that why down, because that'll make it a little bit easier to do the hard work. Now, how? One thing that I've really realized about all of us is, ever since we were all young, we had an authority figure in our life, whether it be our parents or our teachers, telling us to do certain things, right? So when you get habituated to listening to authority, you lose your own sense of authority, which means you being able to command yourself to do what it is that you know you need to do, right? And even when it comes to that, like one of the examples I mentioned was homework. Like, even then, like, your teachers tell you to do that homework, right? And we still can't sometimes get it done. So it just goes to show, like, how hard it can be to sit down and just do the hard work sometimes. But like I said, you're not very good at being your own boss, right? You're not good at being your own authority figure. And the one way I've realized how to do that is you create a schedule. Okay. And I understand everybody's like, dude, I do not want to be held to a schedule. I don't want to do that. And like, it just feels so restricting. All this bullshit, dude, stop it. Just stop it. Just make a schedule, for the love of God. Like, if you're not going to do what you need to do, you need a schedule. And instead of thinking about it as a damn prison, think about it like you're trying to give someone you care about a day that would make them the utmost productive and happy. Like, it would just be an amazing day. Like, when you get done with it, you're like, holy shit, I've accomplished so much. That's the kind of schedule you want to make yourself. And that doesn't mean, you're going full throttle the entire time. There's time for rest. There's time for recovery. Oh, Jesus, it's getting cold out here, but there's time for rest. There's times for recovery, like I said. So you don't have to go full throttle, because at the end of the day, that isn't like the most efficient. And you might go too hard and then end up giving up. So you need to progressively overload. You need to go slow. So start off with a schedule, and write down things like, for example, like Google Calendar. That's literally free. So go to Google Calendar, and on your laptop or your phone, just download the app. You could do that too. What you want to do is like input some of your basic things. So for example, like your work or your school courses, and then kind of work your way around that, and then see, okay, how much time do I have? And then your goal, once you've made this schedule, and ideally you make it for the week as best you can, as accurately as you can. It's okay if there's a little bit of mess ups, but like, you don't want to go into it with that mindset. You want it to be as how do I say it? Strict, or not as strict, sorry, as precise as it can possibly be. So once you've made it as precise as you could possibly be, make it something that you know you're willing to do. You're not superhuman. Do something you're willing to do. So like, maybe I know we all have a tendency to be like, I gotta do homework for like 3 hours and do that. No, split it off into something a little bit easier for yourself, something that you can actually do, that you won't quit. That's the goal. Sticking to it long term, the consistency, that's gonna give you the results that you need, in terms of especially doing the hard work when you don't feel like it. It's all a battle of getting used to it. It's all a battle of getting used to the resistance that you feel within your mind to doing this work. So again, make the schedule. Make the schedule, and it'll almost be like you're being your own boss in some sense. So that helps. And then one thing that's a bit more minor, but I think helped me, was I made a journal entry about this, and I basically just made a vow to myself. So sometimes when I do journal entries, I almost journal as if I'm talking to myself, like I'm having a conversation with myself, because of something that Peterson once said. It was something along the lines of, you're someone that you have to negotiate with. You're not someone you could, have a tyrannical relationship with, and you can't force yourself to do certain things, because again, and kind of what, and that kind of goes into the the meaning of this video, right? Or like the message of this video is like, you have to be your boss, but not enough to where like you tell yourself, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Like, you gotta take it slow. Like I said, progressively overload, make it slow, make a schedule that you're willing to do and you're willing to work with. That's what I'm doing right now too, and it's helped me make significant progress. But as I was saying, I digress. Back to the point, you have to kind of declare to yourself that you're going to go about the path that you are. So declare to yourself why you're doing it. And once you know why you're embarking upon it, so for example, like, why am I becoming a doctor? And then declare to yourself that you'll do the work because you know it matters to you. And with that comes a level of like honesty. Like, do you actually want to do this? Do you actually want to be this? Or are you forcing yourself, right? Of course, that's going to also make the hard work a lot harder. It's like, if you're not going to want to do it and you don't feel it's right to you, then what are you doing? You're not going to be able to do it. But those are some of the tips that I think would really help you, and to kind of simplify it down, because I know I have a tendency to ramble, and especially on videos like this, is first off, like practical steps, like journal and like declare it to yourself. Secondly, make a schedule so that you're your own boss. And what was the other reasons? Jeez, I'm forgetting with all this rain hitting my face. And yes, okay. And then third one, write down your why. Why are you doing this? Because if you don't have a good reason, chances are you shouldn't be really doing it. Hold up, I gotta jump through puddles and shit. Okay. Now, you have to realize, even with all these three things, you're not just going to be cured of immediately being able to do the hard work. You're not just going to be able to do it whenever you want, however you want. Like, woo, yeah, Shay, you cured me. Like, no, not that kind. It doesn't work like that. You, like I said at the beginning of the video, need to, even with all that done to yourself, because I've done it, I'll still feel the resistance of not doing what it is that I need to do. So in those moments, the best thing, I can even add a fourth tip here, is to start meditating, because that'll help you be mindful. And when you can be mindful, you can also learn to sit down in those moments when you don't want to do the thing and just observe yourself. Just observe what it is you're feeling and embrace it. And sit there, start the hard work slowly. Start by just getting ready. Like, if you got to go to the gym, just don't even think about trying to go to the gym or anything. Just focus on, okay, objective one, get ready for the gym. That's all that matters. Like, prep yourself slowly into getting into that thing. That will help you a lot too. Like, I do that. Like, whenever I need to journal for a podcast or anything, I literally just turn on some of my LEDs, my lamp, I turn on I light up my candle, and I just open the book, I open the journal with my pencil in it, and I see what I've written already, and I just start reading it a little bit. I just start looking at it, I'm like, okay. And then I'm in the flow state all of a sudden. I'm just like, okay, I'm writing what I need to do. And like I said, it all goes into what I was talking about. It's because I've scheduled the time to do that work, and it's because I also had a why to do it. I have a reason. I want to, help people through the things that I've learned. So, because, hold up, losing my thought process again. But yeah, you just sit down and you really just have to, there's no way around facing that resistance, to be completely honest. That's just the way it is. And you have to think, I might not want to do this right now, and it would probably be for the best of my future that I did do this. And then you also in turn need to think about, what would happen if I didn't do it? Where would I end up if I did do this? Where would I end up if I didn't do it? So let's take the gym example. Where would I end up if I went to the gym in whatever amount of time period, right? Probably a lot better, even if it's for a day, a lot better than where you would be if you didn't go to the gym. So you really just have to think about that and sit down, breathe, and embrace everything. Embrace all the doubts, all the resistance, all of the pain or whatever, all of everything. You just have to sit down and just embrace it. And what you'll find is each and every time you do that, each and every single time you do that, you'll get better and better at resisting it. You'll get better and better and better. You'll get better and better and better to the point where you cannot go without doing it. And that's what I've understood from the gym. Why can I just go? Because I faced that level of resistance so much so that I don't need to. I can feel the worst on any given day and still be able to go, because I've just built that level of discipline. And again, I know it sounds basic, it sounds cliche, but if you listen to me and you take the time to do what it is that I'm talking about, with time, you'll realize slowly but surely, and I know this is why most people give up, it's because this shit takes time. Slowly but surely, your mind will start to reform and kind of rewire itself. And you'll be in a much better position than what you were before, and you'll just be able to discipline yourself a lot better if you keep at it. You're gonna have micro changes that happen at the smallest level within your mind, and they'll keep happening from day to day to day, and you won't notice, you won't feel like you're making progress. And then boom, it's it almost just clicks one day. It's almost like you just wake up one day and you're just I'm there. It just clicked. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had on my mind today. But yeah, as you can see, it started to rain and it is cold, and we got through it. We got through the recording, so I'll see you on the next one. Peace.